Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. President Draupadi Murmu confers Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar on the occasion of Vir Bal Divas in New Delhi. Violence against Hindus continues unabated in Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina accuses Yunus regime of unspeakable torture of minorities in Christmas address. Donald Trump says US launches deadly strike against Islamic State terrorists in northwest Nigeria, accuses ISIS of viciously killing innocent Christians. US confirms Nigerian government support for the strikes. And in sports, India to take on Sri Lanka in the third Women's T20 International in Thiruvananthapuram, hosts 2-0 ahead in the series. President Draupadi Murmu conferred the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar on the occasion of Vir Bal Divas in New Delhi on Friday, honouring the young children who made the country proud in various fields. 20 children from 18 states and union territories who have demonstrated outstanding achievements in diverse fields were selected for Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar. The awardees have contributed immensely in the field of sports, technology, culture, while some of them are leaving no stone unturned in taking the culture of India to global level. The Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar is a prestigious national honour conferred annually by the Government of India on children for exceptional excellence in bravery, art and culture, environment, social service, science and technology and sports. Speaking on the occasion, President Murmu talked about the opportune moment and how the country takes honour in celebrating the pride of the nation.
वर्ष 2022 से आज के दिन हम सभी देशवासी वीर बाल दिवस के रूप में मनाते हैं। क्या आप जानते हैं कि आज हम वीर बाल दिवस क्यों मनाते हैं? इसके पीछे हमारे इतिहास का एक बहुत ही प्रेरक अध्याय है। लगभग 320 वर्ष पूर्व सिख पंथ के 10वें गुरु और सभी भारतवासियों के लिए पूजनीय गुरु गोविंद सिंह जी और उनके 4 बेटों ने सत्य और न्याय के पक्ष में युद्ध और संघर्ष करते हुए बलिदान दिए थे। आज के दिन हम उनके 2 सबसे छोटे साहिबजादों का स्मरण करते हैं।
National level program of Vir Bal Divas 2025 is being organized at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the children and youth of India and underscore the role of young citizens in nation building. The program will highlight stories of bravery, resilience and selfless service to inspire children and youth, reaffirming the Government of India's commitment towards nurturing empowered and responsible citizens in line with Viksit Bharat at 2047. The program will witness participation from school children, the awardees and dignitaries from across the country. Cultural performances showcasing India's rich civilizational heritage and the spirit of bravery will form an integral part of the celebrations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to the Sahibzades on the occasion of Vir Bal Divas, remembering their sacrifice and courage. In a social media post, Prime Minister Modi wrote, and I quote him, Vir Bal Divas is a day of reverence dedicated to remembering the sacrifice of the brave Sahibzades. We recall the unshakable faith of Mata Gujri Ji and the immortal teachings of Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji. This day is associated with courage, conviction and righteousness. Their lives and ideals will continue to motivate people for generations. Vir Bal Divas is being observed today to honour the martyrdom of Baba Fateh Singh and Baba Zorawar Singh, the Sahibzades of the 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. In January 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that December 26 would be observed as Vir Bal Divas, making it India's first national day dedicated to honouring the courage and sacrifices of the children.
Vir Bal Divas stands as a powerful reminder of courage, faith and supreme sacrifice. Observed every year on the 26th of December, the day commemorates the martyrdom of Sahibzada Zorawar Singh and Sahibzada Fateh Singh, the younger sons of the 10th Sikh Guru Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji. The roots of Veer Bal Divas traces back to December 1705, a tragic chapter in Indian history. During the Mughal reign, the two young Sahibzadas, just 9 and 6 years old, were captured by the Mughal governor of Sirhind Wazir Khan. They were subjected to immense pressure and offered wealth and safety to abandon their faith. Yet, with extraordinary resolve beyond their age, they refused to compromise their beliefs. Their unwavering stand led to their brutal martyrdom as they were pricked alive, choosing faith and truth over fear. Recognizing this unparalleled bravery, in January 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on the occasion of Prakash Purab of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, announced that 26th of December will be observed as Veer Bal Divas, and now it is India's first national day dedicated to honoring the sacrifices of these children. Vir Bal Divas is not just a day of remembrance, it is a source of inspiration. It urges the nation, especially the youth, to uphold values of courage, integrity, resilience, and moral strength. Tripti Tripathi's report for DD India.
Renowned sand artist Manas Sahu has created a sand sculpture at eastern India's famous Puri beach to pay tribute to the Sahibzades, the sons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th Sikh Guru. Veer Bal Divas is observed every year on December 26 to honour the extraordinary courage and supreme sacrifice of the Char Sahibzades. In other news, the Indian Railways has rationalised its passenger fare structure from today, aiming to balance affordability for passengers with long-term operational sustainability. Here's a look at the key details up on your screens. There is no fare increase for suburban services and season tickets, including both suburban and non-suburban routes. Second-class ordinary passengers will also see no change in fares for journeys up to 215 kilometres, protecting short-distance and daily commuters. For longer second-class ordinary journeys, fares have risen modestly. Rupees 5 for 216 to 750 kilometres, Rupees 10 for 751 to 1250 kilometres, Rupees 15 for 1251 to 1750 kilometres, and Rupees 20 for 1751 to 2250 kilometres. In sleeper class ordinary and first class ordinary non-suburban, fares have been revised by just 1 paise per kilometre, ensuring a gradual and limited impact. For mail and express trains, the fare increases across both AC and non-AC classes, and it has been capped at 2 paise per kilometre. For example, on a 500 kilometre journey, passengers will have to only pay around Rupees 10 extra. No changes have been made to reservation fee, superfast charges or other ancillary charges. GST applicability and fare rounding rules also remain unchanged. Tickets booked earlier will not be affected even for travel after the new fares come into effect. Amid spiralling violence against minorities in Bangladesh, former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, in a Christmas speech, has attacked the Yunus regime and said that the current ruling group has seized illegal power and is now subjecting minorities to unspeakable torture. Hasina reminded its citizens that Bangladesh had always been a shining example of communal harmony in recent past. She said the father of the nation dreamed of a non-communal Bangladesh, and her party, Bangladesh Awami League, has ensured the smooth living of people of all religions to realize that dream. However, citing the current political climate, she noted that the current ruling group that has seized illegal power is interfering with the freedom of people of all religions and communities to practice their own religion. Regarding lynching of minorities, she highlighted that non-Muslims are subject to unspeakable torture under the current regime. She added that it has also created examples of atrocities such as the burning of religious minorities. She believes that the people of Bangladesh will not allow this difficult time to continue and that the Christmas spirit will strengthen the harmony between Christians and other religions in Bangladesh. Violence against Hindus continues unabated in Bangladesh. A 30-year-old youth, Amrit Mondal, who also known as Samrat, was killed by a mob on Wednesday night in Rajabari district over alleged extortion. Police rescued him in critical condition, but he died at Pasha Ubzila Head Complex around 2 a.m. Authorities arrested his associate Mohammed Salim and recovered firearms. Samrat was reportedly a gang leader with multiple criminal cases, including murder. The incident occurred when locals caught him attempting to extort a villager, prompting a mob attack. An investigation is ongoing. Malaysia's former Prime Minister Najib Razak is currently facing judgment for his alleged involvement in Malaysia's One Malaysia Development Berhad mega grant scandal. Najib Razak faces 4 counts of abuse of power and 21 counts of money laundering relating to the plunder of hundreds of millions of dollars from the nation's 1MDB sovereign wealth fund, sparking probes in several countries. The former 6-year jail term after a conviction in a separate case relating to the 1MDB fund. The court is currently reading the verdict. Ahead of the verdict, the judge said that ex-PM Najib and 1MDB fugitive Joe Law had unmistakable bond. Najib will face more years behind the bar if found guilty. Myanmar will hold a third phase of voting for its general election on January 25th. To an announcement on state media, the ruling junta said that the third phase of polling will be held in 63 of the country's 330 townships. The first 2 phases of voting are set to take place on December 28th and January 11th, covering a total of 202 townships out of a total of 330. Dates for the counting of votes and the announcement of election results have not yet been declared. Junta Chief Min Aung Yang has previously acknowledged that the election will not be held nationwide, with the military continuing to fight an armed resistance that has strengthened since a 2021 coup. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, South Korea prosecutor seeks 10-year jail term for ex-President Yoon. Flash floods hit Southern California amid heavy rains.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar.
And it fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. The United States carried out an airstrike against Islamic State terrorists in Nigeria on Christmas night. US President Trump, in a social media post, said that forces conducted deadly strikes against ISIS terrorists in northwestern Nigeria and vowed more such attacks if the terrorists keep killing Christians. Trump hailed US military for executing numerous perfect strikes. The strikes come after Trump, starting in late October, began warning that Christianity faces an existential threat in Nigeria and threatened to militarily intervene in the West African country over what he says is its failure to stop violence targeting Christian communities. The US military's Africa Command said that the strike against ISIS was carried out in Sokoto State at the direction of US President and Secretary of War in coordination with Nigerian authorities. US Secretary of War Pete Hegseth also praised his department's readiness to take action in Nigeria and said that he was grateful for Nigerian government's support and cooperation. Meanwhile, Nigeria's foreign ministry said that the strikes were carried out as part of the ongoing security cooperation with the United States involving intelligence sharing and strategic coordination to target ISIS. The Foreign Ministry said in a statement that Nigerian authorities remain engaged in structured security cooperation with international partners, including the United States of America, in addressing the persistent threat of terrorism and violent extremism. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a phone conversation with U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and President Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, to discuss the end of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Zelensky stressed that Ukraine is working round the clock to bring closer the end to the conflict and to ensure that all documents and steps are realistic, effective, and reliable. He said the two sides discussed certain substantive details of the ongoing work and they have good ideas that can work towards a shared outcome and lasting peace. He expressed the hope that understandings and the ideas discussed between the two sides can be useful. The latest development came after Zelensky recently unveiled a 20-point draft peace plan which was agreed on by the US and Ukrainian negotiators and is being reviewed by Russia. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that Russia is analyzing the documents on ending the ongoing Ukraine conflict. Earlier, Peskov said that Dmitriev had briefed President Vladimir Putin on the outcomes of his trip to Miami. Venezuelan authorities have released at least 99 prisoners who were arrested during protests against President Nicolas Maduro's re-election in 2024. The releases were reported months after widespread demonstrations erupted following President Maduro's victory in the July 2024 election, which was marred by allegations of fraud. Security forces detained roughly 2,400 people during the unrest, though nearly 2,000 have since been freed. According to the Committee for the Freedom of Political Prisoners, the latest release began early on Christmas Day, and the conditions under which the prisoners were released has not been disclosed. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro endorsed his son as a 2026 presidential pre-candidate to preserve the representation of those who placed their trust in the former president. Senator Flavio Bolsonaro read a letter from his father outside a Brasilia hospital. Jair Bolsonaro was temporarily released from prison where he is serving a 27-year sentence for planning a coup attempt to undergo medical treatment related to injuries from a 2018 stabbing attack. The announcement shook financial markets this month as investors had expected the former president to support a more experienced candidate like Sao Paulo governor of Tarcísio de Freitas. Bolsonaro was detained in late November after his conviction and is considered a flight risk, with police ordered to remain outside the hospital room where computers and mobile phones are prohibited. Residents of Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, cast their ballots in municipal elections that marked a significant step towards East African nation's first direct national polls in more than half a century. Somalia had not held direct elections since 1969, months before military general Mohammed Siad Barre seized power in a coup. Since Barre's fall in 1991 and the civil war that followed, the country has relied on an indirect voting system introduced in 2004 to foster consensus among rival clans amid an Islamist insurgency. Under that arrangement, clan representatives elect lawmakers who then choose the president. The president has traditionally appointed Mogadishu's mayor. About 1,605 candidates competed for 390 seats on district councils, according to Abdishakur Abib Hayar of National Electoral Commission. The elected council members will now select the city's next mayor. South Korea's special prosecutor on Friday sought a 10-year prison sentence for former President Yoon Suk-yeol on obstruction of justice charges linked to his declaration of martial law last year. The request was made during the closing hearing of Yoon's trial, the first to reach the sentencing stage among 4 criminal cases related to his short-lived declaration of martial law on the 3rd of December last year. The prosecutors have accused the ousted president of trying to block investigators seeking to arrest him in January by barricading himself inside the presidential compound. Yoon has denied the charges, having been removed from office in April through an impeachment ruling. He is currently detained at a correctional facility outside Seoul. The country is expected to deliver its verdict around January 16th. It's been 21 years since the 2004 tsunami struck, when the world awoke to one of the deadliest natural disasters in modern history. India was one of the many nations affected in the Indian Ocean region. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya brings you an in-depth look at the nation's readiness to tackle future tsunamis.
2 decades ago, on December 26, 2004, a powerful 9.1 magnitude earthquake struck near Indonesia, causing a deadly tsunami. It affected India's coastal areas. The massive waves claimed around 228,000 lives and caused nearly $10 billion in damage. With no warning systems in place, most victims had no time to escape. India's public broadcaster Doordarshan was quick to respond during the 2004 tsunami. As information dissemination was crucial, they played a vital role in covering rescue efforts directly from the disaster zone.
This place has become a graveyard. The silence of death is all around, and even the sound of the sea cannot drown the silence.
In response to this tragedy, the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System was created to monitor seismological changes and issue alerts for impending waves. It receives real-time data from national and international networks, detecting earthquakes of magnitude 6 or greater within just minutes. Key sensors in the deep ocean confirm the triggering of a tsunami.
After this tragic event, which took about 230,000 lives and then impacted so many countries within the region, so the UN gave the mandate, provided the mandate to UNESCO's IOC to establish a end-to-end tsunami early warning and mitigation system in the Indian Ocean region. So that was when the ICG, it's called the Intergovernmental Coordination Group for the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System, that was established to actually coordinate with all the countries in the region, all the stakeholders within the region and outside the region to work together.
The Early Warning Center sends advisories to the Ministry of Home Affairs and State Emergency Operations Centers through satellite, phone, fax, SMS and email. Today, thanks to these robust early warning systems, India and other Indian Ocean countries are much better prepared to handle such disasters.
From a nation caught off guard in 2004 to a global leader in tsunami preparedness today, India has come a long way. The establishment of the National Disaster Management Authority symbolizes India's commitment to safeguarding its people against future calamities. With camera person Piyush, this is Tapas Bhattacharya signing off for GD India from Hyderabad.
Heavy rains triggered flash floods and mud flows across Southern California, disrupting life during the Christmas period. Torrential rain caused widespread flash flooding across Southern California, with rivers swelling and mud and debris covering roads. Authorities warned people to avoid travel and urged residents in flood-prone areas to evacuate or move to shelter places. In San Bernardino County, residents were rescued by helicopter after floodwaters stranded them on rooftops. The U.S. National Weather Service said that the storm was expected to continue, creating dangerous conditions. Christmas marked with prayers and traditions across the world, from Pope Leo XIV, first Christmas blessing at the Vatican, to King Charles' call for compassion in London and midnight mass in Bethlehem. Leaders and communities everywhere shared messages of peace and hope, reminding us that while customs may differ, the spirit of Christmas unites people across the continents. Take a look.
On the occasion of Christmas, Pope Leo XIV delivered his first Christmas address and Urbi et Orbi message as the pontiff from St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican. Speaking before a crowd of around 26,000 in St. Peter's Square, he called for peace, solidarity and compassion for victims of conflicts around the world.
From the child of Bethlehem, we implore peace and consolation for the victims of all current wars in the world, especially those that are forgotten.
From the Lady Chapel in Westminster Abbey, central London, the British monarch King Charles III called for compassion, reconciliation at a time of division across the world in his annual Christmas Day message.
With the great diversity of our communities, we can find the strength to ensure that right triumphs over wrong. It seems to me that we need to cherish the values of compassion and reconciliation, the way our Lord lived and died.
In the Bethlehem, Cardinal Pier Battista Pizzaballa led Christmas midnight mass at the Church of Nativity in the city revered as the birthplace of Jesus. Christmas was also celebrated across the world. Syrian Christians marked the day in Damascus with youth parades and mass in the old city. Carols filled with streets of Kiev as hundreds in traditional costumes gathered near St. Michael's Church. In Germany, the faithful braved the freezing temperatures of -8 degrees for a Christmas Day dip in Berlin's Oranienkäse Lake, a tradition lasting 40 years. And in India, Goa's streets and churches glowed with festive lights as locals and visitors sang carols, admired decoration and attended Christmas Mass. From solemn prayers in Bethlehem to joyful tradition across the continent, Christmas 2025 unfolded with a message of peace, hope and unity around the world. Bureau reports, DD India.
Let's talk of sports now. Dominant Team India will look to seal the 5-match series with another ruthless display when it takes on low on confidence Sri Lanka in the third Women's T20 International in Thiruvananthapuram on Friday. India were outstanding with both bat and ball in the first and second T20 International matches, registering comprehensive 8-wicket and 7-wicket wins, respectively, to underline its overall dominance over Sri Lanka. It was India's 9th win in its last 11 T20 internationals against Sri Lanka, which last tasted victory against the hosts in July last year at Dambulla. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. Now, this app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.